Hey guys, this is Aaron coming at you with a video about understanding your priorities and making sure you're doing the right thing in your shop every single time. So when you understand your priorities, you know what's butter in your bread, right? And when you understand your priorities, you're able to get things done that need to get done. They're going to make the biggest difference in your business. So this is a huge concept that I've used to manage my life, and I've been able to somewhat get some success because I've started to finally be disciplined with this. And it's a hard concept to sometimes apply all the time because it doesn't work every time, but over the length of time it will. So for a lot of us out there, I think that it's very easy for us to get to where we're in a position where we're looking at our business and we see that as our business grows and as our business is doing different things, we're able to, see a different view, see a concept, or see something that looks a little different than what we thought, et cetera, et cetera. And what you realize when you go back and you study is that your business had a framework, it had a system, it had a foundation. And in that foundation, in the very beginning, you did some certain things that caused other things to happen. So I'm going to lay that out for you. I think that everybody has what I call a money tree. And this money tree is such a big deal. It's a huge concept. And these are, leaves on these branches. And these leaves make a huge difference in what's going on in your business by how many of these leaves there are and what's happening, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm just going to draw a bunch of them up there, kind of messy. What I want you to see, though, with your money tree is that we all have one. Some of us ignore them, some of us pay attention to them, but these money trees are so stinking important in your business. So you may go, well, Aaron, what makes a money tree? Well, a money tree is something that you put time and effort into, and it gives you back a return. Well, I was talking to a friend of mine, and one time I was out to dinner, and we somehow got on the fact that, it's frustrating when you go in the house and you see your kids have trashed the house. And I said the worst is when you come in, you realize they don't take care of anything. And I don't know how I kind of slightly changed the subject, but I'd come in and my kids had some Patagonia jackets, some North Face jackets, and Columbia stuff, and all name brand stuff laying on the floor, and I had to step over this stuff to get inside, and I could tell they just dropped it on the floor in the garage, not even in the house. And it irritated me. I picked them up, hung them up. I was like, man, this is crazy. And I tell this to my friend at this dinner. This friend of mine makes a couple million a year, and I told him, this is what my kids did, blah, blah, blah. And he said, wait a second. Isn't that why you do this? Aren't you doing this so your kids don't have to worry about where they hang their clothes? So they don't have the stresses and the worries you did? So they worry about the right stuff? And I was like, huh. And he was like, didn't you do this so that their ceiling, or your ceiling, would be their floor? I was like, wow. And I stopped and I started thinking about it, and I was like, did I do it for that reason? I'm like, all this stuff's racing through my head, and I'm trying to get that concept, and I was like, man, but money doesn't grow on trees. And he goes, actually, it does, Aaron. And I just was like, whoa, and I leaned back in my chair, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is he right? What the heck? And so I sat there and I processed this and thought, really pushed my way through it, and I started to come up with this concept that money does grow on trees. It's not that hard to understand, and it just keeps producing if I have the right concept about it. So I want to show you something. So we all have a money tree, and we all take this money tree and we water it. And this money tree gets watered, and this money tree is watered based on our belief of what's needed, right? And once you figure out what's needed, I'll leave it like that. I'll put on here water. Once you believe you've figured out what's needed, you start applying the amount of water that you believe is correct. And sometimes we don't apply enough. Sometimes we apply plenty, sometimes even too much. But what we start to discover as we're watering this is the tree starts to grow. And as the tree starts to grow, we notice that it has a bigger trunk. And then as more time goes by, that trunk can handle more branches, and more branches can handle more leaves. And it just begins to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the beautiful part, as this tree continues to grow and it sprouts more and more branches up and it starts to hold more and more leaves, it starts to put down roots. Roots that can weather the storm. Weather the storm. Roots that can stand if the wind comes and it doesn't fall down. And then the best part of all is all this is happening in the spring and in the summer. Maybe you're even finding yourself right now in a winter season where things are a little bit, I don't know, you're in a drought, a little cold, a little bare. But spring is always coming. It's always around the corner. And as you invest and you invest and you invest and you pour and you pour and you pour on that money tree, it's going to someday give you a harvest. And when those leaves start to fall and they start to hit the ground, what happens in the fall? Makes a mess in your yard, doesn't it? And then you have to get the rake out and you have to clean them all up. Your kids play in it and everybody has fun. And these leaves pile all up. And these leaves represent all the work you did before of watering that tree. But the crazy concept in this whole thing is that you never did anything different. You never went and put the tree in the ground. You never did anything else. All you ever did in the very beginning was put that little seed in the ground. And then only God can make the seed grow. You don't know how the seed's going to grow. You just give it the nutrients, you give it plenty of water, and you stand back and you let it do its thing. But so many of us, we go and we take our water and we pour it on different things. We go and we give our attention to different things. And if you think about it, your water is really your attention. And your attention, if you really get it boiled down, is your focus. So when you think about your water, and your focus, and your attention applied to the right tree, you get a result. You know, it's so funny. I'll have guys call me up, and they'll say, Aaron, I want to open up a business. Okay, I've already got a repair shop. It's just starting to do good, and I think I'm ready. This is a mountain. And they say, I'm going to go and open up another business. Okay, great. Where's this shop going to be? Oh, it's not going to be a repair shop. I'm opening up a restaurant or a dry cleaner. And I go, excuse me? What? And I find out there's this cave in a mountain. Here's the path going down. And you've got all your guys working, right? All your guys are walking into this mine in the mountain. And they're producing for you a result. And this mine, it's right here, and you decide you're going to go open this other mine. And we got our path going down to this mine. You got all the guys coming in to go to work for you. The crazy part is when we dig deep, we start finding out this here is a gold mine. And you go tell me you're about to go open up a silver mine. And you're excited about it. How crazy is that? When you start thinking about it, guys will come to me and they'll go, Aaron, my business is just starting to get a return. I think today is the perfect day to screw it all up and go open up another business. And I'm going, are you crazy? You just got it there. It's not dialed in. It means it's just now starting to produce results. You finally started watering it enough last spring that you're in fall and you just got your first round of leaves. Well, Aaron, we're coming into winter. I want to go open up something else and go pour into something else over the winter. Because I don't want to go through this period of just, a rest, if you will, before the next spring where I have to go back to work again. I don't want to do that. I want to go try something totally different I know nothing about and toil and work and sweat and have blood and tears pouring out and believe that's the right path. You know, that's the kind of crazy stuff we tell ourselves. So instead, what you should do is you should understand that now is the time to water like crazy through the winter so that I have a really good spring, even though I'm getting no results. And then when the spring comes and it starts to bud a little bit, I'll start to see the beginning of results. And then when the summer comes, I'll have a challenge on my hand. I'll have to keep watering because it'll test whether or not I believe it's really going to work. And then when it finally gets around to the fall, When it gets to the fall, that's when it's actually going to start to produce for me results. And when it gets to the fall and it starts to produce for me results, think about this, guys. When that thing produces for you, everything starts to change. And when it starts to produce for you in the fall and the leaves start coming down, now you got 2 seasons back to back. That pile of leaves is even bigger than before. It's not just coming down on one side, it's now coming down on the other side too. And now you just got money coming out of everywhere. And you're freaking out and you're going, oh my gosh. You're calling up your spouse, you're going, look at all this money, I can't believe it. And you literally can't believe it. Like, in your mind, you've never let yourself go there before. It's messing with you. And you're just shocked at the amount of revenue this tree is producing. You see, when you get your first round of results, that's just the foundation of the new level. But because you've never been at that level before, you think you've hit the pinnacle. You think you're at the top of the mountain. That's it. I'm telling you, there's so much more, so much deeper that you can go in this business. There's so much more you can find out. I encourage you, please keep digging. Please keep pursuing. Please keep going. Go for it. Get your water, or your money tree water. Just keep focusing on it, because that tree will produce for you for years to come. I'm telling you. You know, in fact, I'm changing the name of this. We're not going to call this understanding. I got the wrong one. Priorities. We're going to call this, and I'll just keep this video. We're going to call this the money tree. And here's the trick to this. If you're going to go and open up another one, make sure it's a gold mine, not a silver mine. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.